When two people love each other, they will often sacrifice their own happiness for the happiness of the other person. When they both do this at the same time, therein lies the compromise. If the outcome ends with only one person being happy, it's not a compromise. It's not even a relationship.
BTSW speaks.
Now, if you did ask this question, I'll answer that question first, which is, well, if it's not a relationship, then what is it? If it's not a relationship, it's pretend, I guess. A relationship, you need to relate. It needs to be something that is relatable between the two of you. And if something is not between the two of you, that means it's on either side. So there's deception, there is unhappiness, there is unequalness. Sure, let's go with that. Unequalness. There is a lack of balance. And the more it happens, there would be a lack of trust as well. So if you have all of these negative aspects in a relationship, add them all up and you will get a total of not relationship. I don't know what you would get, but you wouldn't get a relationship. So I don't know what to tell you. The thing about compromise is you only need a compromise when something or someone else is stopping you, conflicting you from getting exactly what it is that you want. Now, usually you can't get exactly what you want because it's not really an option. Sometimes people want to just, be on vacation all the time. I know I do. However, with all the bills that I have, it's not an option. So I gotta compromise and take vacations sometimes, At least I'm happy and my bills, they're happy too. So that's a compromise. With people, it's a little different because not only do I want something that is not really an option, but the other person would also want something that is not really an option. And usually the reason why these things aren't really an option is because it conflicts with the other person's thing that they want. So I would have to sacrifice my want, what I really want. I would have to sacrifice that entirely. And then the other person would have to sacrifice their want entirely in order for us to meet in the middle. Now, unfortunately, especially for men, well, majority of the ones I know, they end up compromising, in other words, sacrificing what they really want in order for their lady to be happy. And their lady usually just takes it. She doesn't compromise. Now, in order for someone to compromise, like I said before, that means they have to sacrifice. That automatically means if only one person sacrifices, that means the other person will definitely get what they want. If I only wanted to meet you in the middle, that means I would have to keep on going if I got to the middle before you. Because meeting in the middle means that we had to start at both ends and then meet in the middle. So we would have to be going at the same speed in order to reach the same destination at the same time. That is what meeting in the middle really means. Therefore, if one person starts before the other, that means they won't meet in the middle, they'll meet just to the side or to the other side. Now, if one person starts and the other person doesn't at all, they'll meet, but they'll meet on the opposite end of where the first person started. That therefore means only one person sacrificed. So it's not really a relationship, it's more like ownership, a dictatorship, if you will. Someone just being pleased and the other one pleasing. There's no equality, there's no give and take, there's only give and then take. One person giving and that other person is taken. A lot of people don't understand what compromise really is. Compromise is the result of two people or two things sacrificing. Not one thing sacrificing or one thing giving up what they really want. Compromise is when both parties sacrifice. Because everybody wants something. And sometimes that something is not really an option, like I said before. When that is the case, both parties would need to have sacrificed that something in order to get something else that is slightly closer, which would also be the compromise. Got it? So you tell anybody I say, compromise is when both parties sacrifice. If only one party sacrifice, that's an ownership or a dictatorship. You could call it whatever you want, but don't call it a relationship, because relationships require compromise, and we already know what that is.